This exercise uh, will explain to you about the construction of graphical scale, and this graphical scale is simple graphical scale. Okay, so look at the screen. That graphical scale, as you know, that we show the scale with the help of the one line having the divisions, that two type of divisions, primary divisions and the secondary divisions. Like suppose these are the primary divisions and other these are the secondary division. So what we have to do, we have to, you know, uh, construct this type of the graphical scale. But while constructing the graphical scale, or it is also called as, you know, plane scale or the line scale, we need to, you know, consider some important points, and those important points are nothing but you know, the are given here. So the few points are need to be understand. For example, the length of graphical scale which we are going to, you know, construct, for example, from this to this, that length should be any, or that depend on you. So you can take any length, but after a lot of experience of cartographer, they found that if you are going to construct the graphical scale in metric system, so the ideal length is, you know, between 12 to 20 centimeter. So in between, if you take, it is comfortable for any type of the graph. uh, Others, if you are working in the British system, okay, of measurement, so the length of graphical scale is, you know, ideal length, that is 5 to, you know, 8 inches. So accordingly, values will help us to decide the length of graphical scale, because length of graphical scale need to decide by ourselves. Then whatever the distances we are putting as per the scale along the graphical scale, for example, like from 0 to 1 to, you know, 3, 4, these graphic the values should be in round. They should not be in decimal like 1.5 or 2.5, something like this. They always should be in round figure. Okay, because this graphical scale should be easy to read anybody. So that point you need to consider. Then the whole line shows the scale is divided into the primary and secondary division. That means once you draw the line graphical scale, for example any length, we have to divide it into the equal divisions. So initial equal divisions we'll call the primary scale or the primary divisions, and when one primary division will be divided into the minor divisions, these divisions will call the secondary divisions. So these divisions will help us to measure the minor distances too. So that is another point. Most important third point is here, that 0, which is the beginning point of distance, it should be start at the end of the first primary division. Okay, it should be put here, and then 1 to whatever the distances as per your calculations about the division, that you have to put. Okay, so the 0 of distance always should be put at the end of first primary division. Okay, or at the, you know, right side of, or can say left side of the this primary divisions. So that is one of the important point. So 0 always will at the end of the first primary division. Okay, or at the beginning of the second primary division. Then the distance shows by the primary and secondary divisions are marked on the right and left of the zero of the scale respectively. The water distance that we are going to calculate the distance of each division, because that the total length of this graphical scale will show the certain distance on the ground. Okay, and that distance we are going to divide into the equal primary divisions. So each division will have some value of distance. Okay, so while we are putting these distances on the each division, we must to keep in mind, okay, that the main divisions of the distance along the primary divisions, and one primary divisions will show the fractions of the distance of first primary divisions or any primary division. It will be in the secondary by the secondary divisions. So all the distances should be, marked with reference to 0. That is most important. And last thing is that graphical scale, if you want to construct, you should have the either RF, representative fraction, or the statement scale. So it is always better to show the, or to put the RF or the statement scale with graphical scale, because it will help to increase the meaning and applications of the graphical scale. So hope so you got an idea about what point should be taken to consideration while drawing the graphical scale. Now we'll go for the one example, and that example will be here uh, to construct the graphical scale. Okay, so look at here the no this is an for example which we are going to take. That example is, construct a simple graphical scale for map drawn at the scale of 1 is to, you know 1 is to 1 lakh, and read the distances in kilometer and meter. So looking at these 3 points, your decision should be confirmed. You know that RF is given 1 is to 1 lakh. That means 1 centimeter on map representing the 1 lakh centimeters on the ground. And we have to construct the or the design the graphical scale which should be able to provide an facility to read the kilometers distances and meters. That means here the primary divisions will be show the kilometers, and secondary divisions will show the meters. Okay, so for that you have to go through the step by step calculations. That is most important. And you have the background how to convert the RF into the statement scale. So our beginning will be there, where first of all we have to, convert that given, graphic RF into the, verbal scale. So in the solution, look at here, that I have made here the part 1 where we have certain calculations, and part 2 will the drawing about the graphical scale. So what is the RF? What type of the points we have to calculate? First of all, we have to calculate what is the statement scale of this given RF or the verbal scale. Then after that you have to, decide the length of graphical scale. That is most important. After that you have to find out the, you know the length of scale and respective distance on the ground. Okay, so that we have to find out. So step by step, and then later on we have to decide the primary divisions, then secondary divisions, and so on. So we'll go step by step, then you will get an idea. So this is an RF is given here, and RF is 1 is to 1 lakh. uh, if it is so it means the 1 centimeter is equal to 1 lakh centimeters. It means 1 centimeter on map represent the 100 centimeter, 1 lakh centimeter on the ground. So if we want to that now for the statement scale, the centimeters we have to convert into the kilometer. So if you want to convert into kilometer, you should know how much centimeters in 1 kilometer, and that answer is 1 kilometer is equal to 1 lakh centimeter, and hence that 1 lakh centimeter we want to convert into the kilometer, so we must divide by 1 lakh by 1 lakh, and you will have the answer in kilometer. And that is why the statement scale for given RF, which you have to calculate first, because it helps us to go for the deciding the length of graphical scale. So 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, and this is what statement scale you can write, that for the given RF, that 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer. Now sometimes it is possible that in the question examiner may give the direct statement scale, okay, and he will ask that construct the graphical scale to read kilometer meter like this. So in that case this step will be need not to go for, or the need not to do this step, so you can ignore it. So now we got an 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer, that is an statement scale or the verbal scale for this given RF. Now based on this, what we have to do, based on this graph statement scale for this RF, okay, based on this we have to decide the length of scale, okay. So let me see how to decide the length of scale, and we'll go on the next slide. So on the next slide, look at here, length of graphical scale, that is the second stage. Here I have decided that my length of graphical scale will be 16 centimeter, because I have the background information that my scale is 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer, right? So I thought that if I take 16 centimeter distance, so when I go for the dividation of graphical scale into the primary divisions, my divisions will be definitely in equal form, okay. So because 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, that is a statement scale, so I have to find out the how many distance on the ground. If the length of graphical scale is 16 centimeter, so it will come 16, right? So 16 is very good figure to divide it. When we divide it into the certain primary divisions, definitely we can achieve the in a simple manner the equal divisions in a round figure, which will show the distance, okay. So look at here, if 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, that is an our scale, so how many centimeters sorry, how many kilometers for 16 centimeter, because 16 centimeter is the my length of scale. That means whatever the scale I am going to draw, that length we have to decide, and we have decided that is in 16 centimeter. So if it is in 16 centimeter, right, so I know that we have to establish the relationship between the this scale with decided length of graphical scale. So that link is nothing but, if 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, then how much kilometer for 16 centimeter, which is our length of graphical scale, okay. So hope so. To find out it, we have to multiply by 1, multiplication of 16 multiply 1. So answer is nothing but 16 centimeter is equal to 16 kilometer, okay. So now 16 kilometer is what? 16 kilometer is the distance on the ground, okay, respect to length of graphical scale, that is 16, okay. So it must be understand to here that my length of graphical scale is 16 centimeter, okay, and the scale was 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer. So I make a relationship between 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, then how many kilometers for the 16 centimeter, and I got 16 kilometer. So it means when we draw the 16 centimeter length of graphical scale, it will indicate 0 to 60 kilometer distance. It means this much distance of length of graphical scale on map will represent the 16 kilometer on the ground, okay. for the better understanding and to read the some minor distances, because this much total distance is 16 kilometer on the ground. But suppose I want to need the, you know, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer I want to read. So it will better to provide the facility dividing the total length of graphical scale into equal division, which we call the primary division. Okay. Now for that, what we have to go, what we have to do, we have to decide the primary divisions. Okay. For example, so if the total distance is 16 kilometer, so how much divisions we have to decide. So while deciding the division, you must to keep in mind that 16 kilometer distance we are going to divide it. Okay, though we are dividing the line, but with that it is also division of total distance which is on the ground, that is 16 kilometer. And the point is here, while dividing this total distance on the ground, okay, into the primary divisions, to show the primary divisions, that answer should be a round figure of that number. And hence I, I decide here that my primary divisions will be 8. Okay, the primary divisions, so number of primary divisions that I have decided, those they are 8. Okay, because I have thought process in my mind before this decision, that if I take a 8 division, so division is also quite more, plus when we divide this 16 by 88, answer would be 2, and 2 is a round figure, that 2 kilometer, and that is why I decide here the number of primary divisions is equal to 8. So we have to find out if the number of primary divisions are 8, it means the 8 primary divisions is equal to 16 kilometer, because 8 division of what? 8 division of the 16 centimeter distance. Okay, that is a total length of graphical scale. Okay, and we have decided that this graphical scale I will going to divide into the 8 equal divisions. That means the total length of this graphical scale is, okay, it means this total length of graphical scale is equal to 16 kilometer. Okay, then what would be the distance of primary, each of primary division? So agar total distance of this is, you know, 16 kilometer, then what would be the distance of primary division, one primary division? And for that I have to use this equation, that primary division is equal to ground distance, that is an 16 kilometer, and number of primary divisions. Okay, if you put the figures in this equation, so easily you will have the answer. Okay, so that is the 16 kilometer, that is in ground distance, divided by 8, that is number of primary divisions which we have decided, and that ultimately the answer will be in the kilometer. And it's very simple, that 16 divided by 8 is equal to 2 kilometer. Now 2 kilometer is what? 2 kilometer is nothing but, this is our this is our the total length of graphical scale, and we are going to divide this total length of graphical scale into 8 primary division. So one primary division is equal to 2 kilometer. You got it? One primary division is equal to 2 kilometer. That is what this. Okay, so I hope you got an, you know, that exactly the what primary divisions are. Now primary divisions will read the kilometer distances. One primary division will be kilometer, right? 2 kilometer. But now what we have to do, we have to, if suppose we have this primary division, right, and it is indicating the, suppose first at 0, and then this will be the 2 kilometer, and at the end here will be some like this, you know, something is like 14 for example. And now we have to divide this first primary division into secondary divisions, because these secondary divisions will be help us to read the meters, because primary division will help us to read the kilometers, whereas this one primary division if you do, so this will help should be helped to read the meters, right? So that is why distance of one primary division we need to transform into or convert into the meters, and that is what the second division decision. So look at here, we'll go on the next slide where you will find this. Okay, and look at here, secondary division. So primary division, now we know that the one primary division is equal to 2 kilometer. So for reading the meters, this kilometer of 2 kilometer of one primary division need to convert into the meters. So if you want to convert this 2 kilometer into the meter, so you should know how many meters in 1 kilometer. So 1 kilometer is equal to 100 meters. Okay. So if you want to convert the 2 kilometer into the meter, so you have to multiply 2 by 1000, and obviously the answer is 200 meter. Now what is this 200 meter? Okay, this 200 meter is nothing but, as we know, this total graphical length of graphical scale is 16 and we have divided it into 18. And now what we are going to do, we are going to divide the first primary division. So this first primary division, it is nothing but 2000 meters. Is it clear? From this, so this 2000 meter, it means 2 kilometer. So now this primary division having the 2000 meter distance, we have to divide into the secondary divisions, and you have to find out what would be the distance for one secondary division. Okay, so for that we have to decide the how many secondary divisions are. So here I have decided that if 2000 meter distance for one primary division, secondary division, I thought that if you divide it into the 4 division, secondary division, so the each division will carry the 500 meter, and that is a round figure, it is convenient, and that is why I decided. So one can take a 2, no problem, one can take a 6, one can go for another, but you must take care of one thing, that while deciding the divisions, maybe the primary or secondary, you should have to take into consider that point which regarding output should be round, in the round figure. They should not be in decimal like 1.3 something like this. Okay, so then it's okay, any number of divisions you can consider. So I have taken here 4. So now in the same case in the previous one, that now I have to find out if the total distance of ground distance of one primary division is 2000 meter, then what would be the distance of one secondary division on the ground? So this equation will help us. So for example, put the figures. So ground distance in this case is 2000 meter, and the number of divisions are 4, secondary division, and if you calculate it, so it will show the answer that 500 meter. That means one secondary division, what is that, one secondary division, right, will be, if this is a 0 and I have decided that my first primary division I am going to divide into the 4 equal division, so one secondary division will have value like 500, okay, then 1000, okay, then 1500 and 200, 2000, okay, somewhat like this. Okay, so if once you have done this all calculations, now we are ready to construct the graphical scale. So let me go for the construction. So for construction purpose, I'm going to use one software. So you have to follow me as I construct. So you need to have the some instrument, as I told yesterday, that compass, then ruler, then pencil, rubber, and all these things. So please be ready for that. We are going to construct the graphical scale. Okay, so in this video I will demonstrate to you how to prepare or construct the simple graphical scale. Okay, so for that we will take an one new page. that we have here. Okay, so yes, this is the new page, and on this page we will continue to construct the graphical scale. Okay, so you should know that we have an example which is here, where RF was 1 is to something, uh, 1 is to 1 lakh, and based on that we found the uh, we found here the statement scale, which is 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer, and later on we have decided that our graphical scale would be 16 centimeter, and if 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer as per the given RF, then what would be the 16 centimeter map distance on the as per the decided length of graphical scale on map, the 16 kilometer distance on the ground. So that relationship we have established. Now we have decided that our entire length of graphical scale will have the 8 divisions, primary divisions. So if it is so, what would be the distance for one primary division? Okay, so using this equation we can calculate it. So total ground distance divided by number of divisions. So we have the total ground distance, that is 16 kilometer, and divisions are 8. So it gives us that one primary division is equal to 2 kilometer. Okay, so in the same way, here we have secondary division, that means one primary division having the 2 kilometer distance on the ground, that means it is 2000 meter, and here we decide that number of divisions, that 4. So to find out the one secondary division is equal to how much distance in meter, and that is the 500 meter, because 2000 meter divided by 4 divisions is equal to 500 meter, and that is why one secondary division is equal to 500 meter. So it was explained in the previous video also. So let me go for the calculation of construction of graphical scale. So what we'll do first you have to draw the length of graphical scale, and fortunate we have the length of graphical scale as we decided, and that is the 16 uh, 16 centimeter, right? So 16 centimeter we have to take in our this with the help of ruler. Take a comfortable size of your page and location, and this is the 16 centimeter. Okay, so this is the 16 centimeter graphical length of graphical scale. After that, what you have to do, you have to take a compass and go to the one end of the our line, okay, which is here. Now this line we have to divide into equal part, right? And you coincide the 0 over here with your horizontal line, and take the length, okay, angle, that is in 30 degree, 1 2 and 3. Okay, so we have taken the 30-degree angle over here. At the same way, you go to the another end, same angle you have to take it in opposite position. Okay, and that is what 30, 1 2 and 30. So at the both side we have taken the 30-degree angle. Okay, after that, now we have to draw the diagonal line. Okay, so for that draw the diagonal line, you can use the ruler, no problem. But I will use this instrument, which is very easy to handle, very convenient. Okay, so with respect to the this point, which is an the point of angle that we decide 30. Okay, so from the one end through this point, we have to draw the one line. Okay, and that line will help us to divide this, you know, graphical scale into equal divisions. Now this exercise which now we are going to do here, it is an geometrical exercise to divide that given line or the length into equal division. Now after this, once you have the diagonal line at the both side, what you we have to do, we have to take an this compass. Okay, and in this compass you have to take any distance, don't take too much and too less, so you take an comfortable distance and go to the one end of the diagonal line, which is at the end of graphical scale 2. So by that specific distance, which we have taken in general random, not in any distance, we have to the divide that line. Which line? I'll change the color. We have to divide this line, diagonal line, into expected that divisions. So how many expected divisions? The expected divisions are 8. So we have to divide this diagonal line into the 8 division, like 1, then 2, okay, then 3, then so as this is a digital instrument, it make me trouble definitely. So 4, then 5, 6, right, then 6, after the 6 we have 7, okay, and after the 7, that's it, because we have to divide that main graphical scale line into the 8 divisions. So by the specific distance, the one diagonal lines from the beginning, we have to divide into the 8 divisions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now don't change this distance which we have taken into the compass. Now by the same distance which is in the compass, we have to go for another diagonal line, and from the beginning point of diagonal line at the one end of graphical scale, here we have to divide this another diagonal line into what is that, into the 8 division, that is an expected division. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 5, okay, and then, you know, 6, 7, and 8. So this work you need to do very carefully. If you make a mistake to divide the diagonal line, so your entire diagram will be going wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have 8 divisions. Is it clear? After that, now what we have to do, we have to join that the last division on the one diagonal line to the two ends of the, your main graphical scale. So you can join it by ruler, but I have facility to do it here, you know directly by line. Okay, so that is why I'll use that line system. So from this point to, you have to join to the first end of, or the one end of this. Okay, then the second diagonal line, point on the second diagonal line to the this. So in this way, by scale, you have to join these lines which are in front of each other. Okay, and diagonal line. So as these diagonal lines, another secondary diagonal lines you are drawing with the points which are available on the initial diagonal line of 30 degree, you, wherever they intersect at the main graphical scale, that is a point of equal division. Okay, that is a point of equal division. So you need to do this work very carefully, and once you complete it, okay, you will have this type of the pattern. Okay, so look at here, there's all the intersect points are nothing but the points of equal division, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now our main line, which is already divided into the equal division. Now what to do? At the same time, this is the first division, we have to divide into the 4 equal division, right? So for that, immediately we have to take the graphical, this protector, and go to, now we have, you know the first primary division, right? Okay, here this is an first primary division, which point is exactly over here. So we can, make this point. From that to, we have to take this one and go to the one end of this first division of our graphical scale, right? And again coincide the 0 with the horizontal line of our graphical scale, and take the, uh, another new angle, which should not be exactly the same which was taken in the first, in the beginning. Okay, so here what we'll do, previously it was I think 30. Now we'll take 40 now this time. Okay, to divide the okay, this one, otherwise I'll take a 50. Okay, I'll take a 50. So 50 is what, 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this work I'll do by the another color, that I have the green color. Okay, oh no, green color will not comfortable. I'll use the, this pink. Okay, green. So 30, 20, and also this is in 50. Okay, so taken 50 degree is here. Okay, and go to the opposite side. of the first division, okay, which is here, end of the first division. And again you have to take the angle to the opposite side, like 10, 20, 30, 40, and this is an 50. Okay, so it will be very easy to do it with the help of your compass. Once you done this, as I told you, again we have to draw the diagonal line to this. Okay, and that diagonal line will work here. For example, from this you can draw this line by ruler, but I have facility to draw the straight line, so that is why I am drawing. This is not good, so I'll repeat it. Okay, so put here properly and draw the diagonal line over here. Okay, yes, this is, and the another diagonal line you have to draw from this to here. Okay, now these are the new diagonal lines in a green color. Now what happened, again we have to divide that the first our expected divisions, secondary divisions of this these are obviously 4, that we have decided that our secondary divisions will be 4, right? So see the 4, that means by any day distance, you take any distance, only the you need not to change the distance once you taken that distance for the division of diagonal line at one diagonal line. Okay, so it should not be changed frequently. While when you go to the other one, the distance should be same, otherwise then you will be introduce the error. Okay, so let me divide these lines. I'll take the little bit small distance compared to previous one. Okay, and the distance will be something smaller. Okay, so now by this distance I'm going to divide this diagonal line like 1. Okay, then two, that we want 4, no, so 2 are over here. Okay, after that 2, this is the yeah 3, then so here we have to take another one division. Okay, so yes, so this is the fourth one. So with same distance we have to divide this another diagonal line by the same distance, that is the thumb rule. If you change the distance you will make mistake, so here, yes, okay, so 1, then accuracy will be the definitely issue when that instrument is not working very smoothly as system get loaded, no. Yes, so this is in third division, and last one is here. Okay, yes, this is a 4. So once you done this, so now you have to join in the same manner as we joined, in previous case. Okay, so this first point on this diagonal line to the end, then this, okay, on the this point. So while doing this thing, what is happening, this first primary division is getting equal, divisions, right? So that we want. So you linking of these divisions are very important. If you make it wrong, so then it will be difficult. So look at this now. We have 4 division equal 1, 2, 3 and 4 of first primary divisions. Once you done this thing, very simple work is remain. Now that simple work is nothing but just you have to give the width to main scale, and that width maybe for uh, 1 centimeter to each other. Okay, at one side, for example, I'm giving here like I take it randomly, but you take 1 centimeter. uh, I should have to change the color, and that is the red one, because my entire this one is red, so take on 1 centimeter width at one side of your graphical scale. Okay, and the same amount, same 1 centimeter opposite end, and the join the this line, so you will have the width. Okay, so it should be the very perfect one, otherwise it will be some tilted, and this thing will make not accuracy will not matter, but the beauty of graphical scale will be disturbed. So once you complete it, divide it by the 1 centimeter. Okay, so you will have the best look of this graphical scale, and definitely there is some logic. Once you done this, okay, taking the you take a paper strip, and you have to mark all these points on the paper. Okay, otherwise you can take this instrument. I will show you this, you know yes, this instrument. So using this instrument also, one can draw the vertical lines. Okay, vertical lines, which vertical lines, the vertical lines are here. Look at, for example, now look at here. Okay, no problem. So each and every line, for example, I'll show you that the main divisions points we have to uh, drag down in the sense of we have to make a straight line. That divisions we have to show now, right? So this is one. Now in the same way, I have another option to draw this kind of the lines, but you have to do this by this instrument. I'll use directly the line which I can take one, so that with this I'll draw like this. For example, I'll draw this this way, but it is not possible to you. So please use that instrument, or another one way. You can take an paper strip, and you can lie along this and mark those point, and again you can mark those same point on the below line, and you can have the this vertical lines. So that means the points on the main graphical line, we have to take on uh, the line which is just line of width, we can say, right? So these vertical lines you have to draw to uh, divide entire graphical scale into the equal divisions. Okay, so I hope you are you will be get it immediately. So the same way here also we have these lines, and uh, as these points we got the division, so by that way we have to take them down, and they will show you the equal divisions. So in this way you can draw them, and so all the four equal divisions we got here. Now the very last task is remain, and that is just we have to labelize it. This diagram need to label. Okay, and what that those labels are here, the labels are nothing but the numbers. Now we know that the beginning of the numbering of the distance should be start from end of the first, what is that, first primary division, at the end of the first primary division. So we put the 0 at first primary division here, right? So we have to put that 0. After that the we have to put okay, so 0. Then what is an interval? The one primary division showing the 2 kilometers, so it will be 2 will be here. Okay, then insert that 2. Oh, then we have 4. So by the 2 interval, the distances you have to mark over here. Okay, then this will be 4, and just you have to mark it. Again we have to take the tool which help us, and here will be the 6, right, because interval is 2. Then next division will have the 8. Okay, and that is here, that is an 8. Okay, then next division will have you know 10, right? So that is what 10 you have to put here, and 10. Then second will be the 12. You can see here we are maintaining the 2 kilometer interval, yeah, because each primary division have the 2 kilometer distance, right? Now at the end we must to put the 14, right? Here is the 14. What is this? Kilometer. This is a 14 kilometer, right? Yes. And now in the case of this primary divisions, what we have to put there, we have to put the meters. So 0, then first division will 500 meter, then 1000 meter, 1500, and last one there will be the you know uh, 200 meter. So I will not put all the meters because of the space, and I'm not able to do the uh, diagonal wording. So here 200, 2000 meter. Okay, so now it is very easy to understand that uh, these distance, these will help us to measure the meters, and the primary divisions will help us to measure the meters, and secondary divisions will help us to measure the meters, and you know the secondary divisions are helping to measure the meters, and primary divisions will help us to measure the you know yes, meters, and these primary divisions help to measure the uh, kilometers. So it's 500, then 1000, 1500, and 200, 2000. So I'm not putting here these words, but you can put the 500 meter, then this is the 1000 meter, 1500, and so on. So at the end, you must to otherwise I can put here a little bit top, and then again down, but it becomes very complicated. So instead of that, I'll go for the titling. So you have to title, okay, and the titling is nothing but little bit the font we have to increase, and I'm making the font of 20. So apply, and this is in which scale? This is the simple graphical scale, na? Simple graphical scale, in metric system, metric system. Okay, and what is the RF? RF is 1 is to 1 lakh. So this scale we have prepared for 1 is to 1 lakh. Okay, that you must to know, and we have to put at the just center of this graphical scale as an title, and then your graphical scale will be the ready. Okay, so just the extra these things I have to erase, so we will have the some extra space. Okay, so only the title is remain, and once you give the title, your task is over. Okay, so title which already we have typed here, and that is the simple graphical scale for you know yes, and that's it. So in this way you have to prepare, and another thing is we can this much is enough, but one thing we can do even more to make an accurate, that we can allot the shade. It means the alternative these divisions we can shade by this kind of the diagonal lines. So it helps us to more beautification is possible, so we can do it with this. Otherwise you can dark it. So instead of making this, so we can dark them. Okay, so making the dark gives them good impression. Okay, so by slightly by pencil you can do it. For example, I'll start from this. Okay, opposite. So I can you can dark it, then you can dark opposite one, you know so in this way, if you sorry, but this making darking the divisions should be very specific, otherwise it will lead some errors, and those errors will be not good, you know. Yes. Likewise, you can dark the uh, opposite this square or divisions, which will increase the beauty of this graphical scale, just to identify the divisions and their boundaries very sharply. So you sorry, it should be an alternative, it should not be in a monotonous way. So you can do this by pencil. Instead of darking the things, you can have the uh, diagonal lines, pattern of diagonal lines, of short diagonal lines, you can say, and you complete it. So it looks better, plus it give an visual impression to identify the division and separate them from each other. And that is why people give this dark way. So that's it. This is the way what we can draw it. So I think you will be able to draw. Please draw it and complete it, and take a photograph of your notebook and send to me.